Hello viewers, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Once again, I have done all the prep off camera because I've decided that I value your time. And also, how many times is it interesting for me to say, "Ooh, gee, should I equip this legendary bracer? Oh, I suppose I ought to." Wait, I did make one error. I gave this guy a Book of Sanity when the Aria box is strictly better. Okay. The Outsiders. Guess what? I think that's what he was missing. Okay. So, as you can see, we've elected to do a short mission. This will bring Burasa up to a boss fighting level. Also, probably Rainbow Court. You know what? I'm not sure if you get 3 or 4 XP for short veterans. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see. The point is, we're doing this mission because it is time to prep for boss fighting. As much as I want to focus on reds and get a crew into the Darkest Dungeon, which may still happen tonight, we'll see. We should probably actually bring... you can't get secret rooms on short missions, so there's no reason to bring a key for that. I am going to bring one extra one of these. There's a reasonable number of... If I encounter coral, I really want to be able to medicinal herb coral, because that is a fantastically efficient way to remove negative quirks, even if you don't actually get to choose what gets removed. So, while we're talking about leveling people up, I do want to mention that I have 3 heroes left in the green mission bracket.
The smell of rotting fish is almost unbearable.
3 heroes left in the green mission bracket, and when you get to that point, you have to worry about how you're going to keep them back up, right? You can't just send full parties on green missions
Carelessness
anymore.
will find no clemency in this place.
So heroes won't go on missions that are tiers below them. That was unfortunate. But they will go on missions that are tiered above them. So the way you have to deal with that situation is by bringing your low-level heroes in on veteran missions, one by one. And we will probably see some of that in the near future. You have to be very careful when you do something like that. This is unfortunate. You have to be pretty careful when you do something like that because... What a jerk. Because those yellow missions are dangerous even for heroes who are appropriately geared out, right? We've seen quite a few deaths. Do I want to move her? If she moves back 2, that'll put the leper, that'll put the leper into fighting position. It's a real bummer for our plague doctor, who gets to spend even more time not being useful. I really wish you could battlefield medicine for more positions. But now we're mostly back in fighting shape. Oh, that actually is pretty helpful. Thanks.
How quickly
Thanks,
the tide
Fishman.
turns.
Fishman. Okay, wow. Quickly indeed. Alright. 4 is not amazing, but it gets her off death's door at least. Who do we hate more? I hate these guys a lot.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope
Stay
blossoms.
gold, buddy. Stay gold. Alright, if we're lucky, we'll be able to bring this guy down.
Their formation is broken.
And what am I, if not lucky?
Offensive.
It's been a rough open. But we're going to have a little bit of recovery time here. We are going to waste our turn in the hopes of getting another occultist turn off.
Slow death. Unforeseen.
Well,
Unforgiving.
free food. So yeah, as I was saying, yellow missions can sometimes be very dangerous even for people who are appropriately leveled and geared. So carrying a low level in can be very dangerous. I think you guys still haven't really gotten to see what the Uka Crusher can do. I think every time we've fought one, we've managed to keep it under control. We don't have nearly the stuns for that this time. As usual, we are going to focus on bringing down the extra enemies first. Great dodge, great dodge. Oh, here it comes. And of course, it's right before his turn. So yeah, that's what it does. It puts that much bleed on you. I think...
Confidence surges.
Sadly, that was necessary because that guy had a little bit too much health. Just the tiniest bit too much health. He would have survived his dot tick with one left. And that is not acceptable to us. But this is why you want to bring a Plague Doctor. That Plague Doctor just prevented 16 damage in addition to the heal. It's a pretty big deal. Well, that's unfortunate. Because, yeah, now he's going to get... that said, this time I think we're going to be able to remove that from him before he's affected by it. So that should help.
Masterfully executed.
Man, every mark feels so bad compared to the Hound Master. Just lowering prot is so good. As you can see, it does kind of suck to fight these things. 25% crit chance, though. Let's see it. Oh, he actually resisted the bleed that time. So you'll have the situation happen again as well when you're moving on the last few heroes from veteran to champion level, which is something you really have to think about. So what do you got? You have 5 on you. Yeah, I think we'd better do this. And then the occultist can throw it.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Oh, I don't remember all the outcomes for this thing. Lurker. Okay, well that's not terribly useful the way we generally play. I maybe should have had him eat. Oh, there's still so much dungeon left. I've decided not to eat on account of how much dungeon there is left. Okay, Beast Slayer is fine. It's not particularly relevant here. Did it replace Lurker by chance? No, it replaced On Guard, which is something that actually had value. Oh well.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Oh, heartbreaking. Oh dear. I'm a little concerned about that. Jesus, leave her alone.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
You have 20 dodge, miss. You could maybe dodge something.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them.
Yeah, that was a pretty risky thing to do. As soon as I did it, I was like, was that wise? So the question is... Nah, no question. Alright, we may lose a grave robber here because I chose to be risky and give her the occultist heal rather than give her the we've been given a second chance. This time we will take the safe path. Yeah, we've taken really a lot of damage very quickly this dungeon. Oh dear.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So I keep interrupting myself. I keep letting myself be interrupted. It is important to consider how you're going to get the last of your heroes out. Because you don't want to leave a bunch of people behind at level 1. Alright, we get a hunger event the moment I eat food. The game was messing with me. I had to make it 4 more rooms. And I forgot that that she has the double food consumed thing. Trick it. Well, we'll just have to hope that we either come across some food or do not get any more hunger events. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a long time. I don't feel at all secure about not getting more hunger events. Since he's already had his turn, we're gonna do the AoE thing in the hopes that we can bring this guy down to 4. Nope, never mind. Never mind. What a ridiculous pipe dream that apparently was. Man, I told you all he needed was a name change. He is really, really working it.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
And aren't we overjoyed about that? So, you have... Paranormania is not amazing. These are really kind of irrelevant. Curious is annoying. The rest of these aren't so bad, though. Phangophobia is bad. Let's go ahead and have Rainbow Cord do it. So, use medicinal herbs on the eerie coral to lose a thing. What did you lose? You lost the thing that we didn't care about. Oh well. That's the random number generator for you. Ooh, really good scout. Alright, so I like this. Not too many more fights ahead of us. Not that I don't feel confident in this part's ability, it's just, you know. Ooh, she actually did beat the Oracle to a punch. Sadly, then she totally just let him survive. You know, for a little while there, I dared to think that we might actually get out of this without having to de-stress anybody. Yeah, we better just make sure. This guy. Sadly, that only does 5 damage.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
That's definitely worth dropping some battlefield medicine on. Bad news for you, chump. Oh, that wasn't that bad, actually. I should really have attacked this one so that Flashing Daggers would have a chance for a double kill. Since Flashing Daggers is like objectively hard to play there. as much as I would love to get aggressive and prevent an attack from happening, that was actually a lot of damage prevented by removing that bleed. Okay. Oh, I forgot to give her a skill that attacks the enemy. She doesn't have Pick to the Face equipped. I feel a little bit silly about that. Our poor cultist has barely gotten to shank anybody. Taking the opportunity to get some healing in. Fishing for a crit, of course. As always.
Foolish horrors.
I hope that this is a curio that drops food. We could really use some food. Just to buffer us against a hunger event. It's gotta be her, right? Yeah. That's not food. Well, we've made it this far without an event. Maybe the game will be merciful. We only have to make it into the next room to complete the dungeon. Come on, Phagophobia. Yes! Beautiful. That's a much better price than what you would pay to get it removed at the sanitarium. So if we have a hunger event and we starve, we will have to de-stress these two probably, instead of just Rainbow Core. But I'm okay risking that.
Another mariner
for the promise of further treasure.
Another misfortune.
That's maybe not. Uh-oh. These guys are all level 3, aren't they? Yeah, and they're not actually fully upgraded. And we're in kind of a... I'm not going to do it. We're going to leave. Restraint. Listen, I'm not afraid of the Shambler. We're still going to fight the Shambler sometimes.
And terrible
but
things
this time, I think, let's let it slide. We'll let him get away this time. Because mercy. Mercy is the mark of a great man. Okay, it was 4 XP, so we did get a couple more levels out of it. Bros is a nymphomaniac. And Ponyboy is going to the hospital.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Alright, let's just get this taken care of right now before I forget and try to take him somewhere. And then, as well, unfortunately, Rainbow Court needs to, Rainbow Court needs to be de-stressed. But Barasa's in fine shape, which means we actually have a fighting party for next time. Or this video is currently only like 18 minutes long. Maybe I should run another little something right here. Well, there's nothing short available to us. We do still want one of these pretty badly. What else do we have available from the bosses? Alright, none of those trinkets are as exciting. What is this? Siren? Siren's not even a tough fight. Although I would really like to hold off on going after a Cove boss until our Plague Doctor is back in commission. I really like Plague Doctors in the Cove. Alright, let's maybe bang out another level 3 then. Try to get some more people up. So, sort by level. Okay. In fact, we are not going to be able to get anybody else to level 4 here. Should I just man up and fight the boss then? Yeah, alright, let's do it. So you and you, I think, and probably you. Who wants to be in front? This is a question. Yeah, he could do it. Yeah, let's do that. This will let us take advantage of the occultist mark more thoroughly. We do need to update his skills then. Yeah, we're just going to throw a boss fight onto the end of this video. No big deal. Right, these in particular need to be upgraded. Also, he needs to get uppercut. Let's do that. Who else is in this party? Does anybody else need skill upgrades? Oh, your skills aren't actually upgraded all the way. Okay. Let's go ahead and upgrade that as well. And make sure everybody is using the best gear they can be using. No reason not to be. Keep in mind that not only are we sitting on a visible surplus of gold, but we actually have a huge amount of extra gold in trinkets. So we could suddenly make a whole lot of money if we wanted to. Does everybody have 4 camp skills unlocked? No. Let's fix that. Abandoned Hope's not my favorite. How is this party doing on things? So we have some stress relief. I'll buy that for you. Psych Up increases his stress now. I'm still gonna get it. And he has Encourage. We might actually need wound care. Actually, let's just give her wound care as well. Alright. That's how we'll roll. Remember, after you buy your 4th camp skill, make sure you actually equip it. You can do this in the dungeon. As long as you do it before you right-click on that firewood. Once you've right-clicked on the firewood bundle and you've entered the camp screen, it's too late. So make sure you get it done. Alright, you can't use Hook and Slice either. And the Bounty Hunter's mark is one of those minus prop marks that I love so much. Should be upgraded. It wasn't upgraded because he hasn't been using it, but it really should be upgraded. Okay, I feel pretty okay about this. Let's give people trinkets real quick. Until you need murder. Get that crescendo box and the sun ring, I think. Let's pop over to the embark menu here just so I can remember what I'm doing. Alright. Padlock of Transference is a fantastic item. And then we really do want to focus on your damage output, probably. Dude's already pretty tough. Yeah. So we could give him a bracer or a focus ring. Actually, I think it's going to be a focus ring. Let's try really hard to land those stuns, huh? You can take this Berserk Charm. Speed and damage. Pretty good combo. And... alright, she should have her class specific, because Scouting Chance is great. And then this guy, we're going to give him minus stress. The last person you want freaking out is your healer. It is a bad, bad time when the healer starts doing unexpected things. Now he definitely has a reason to use plus accuracy stuff. I'd love a good crit item, actually. I don't think we really have a good crit item, but I wish we did. His attacks do pretty reasonable damage and, you know, crit heals. Crit occultist heals can be pretty savage. Alright, well, we don't have anything like that. Let's just make him a little more survivable. Nah, focus ring. Aggression. Have I mentioned? I'm a fan. Alright. Kill one alluring siren. I can't imagine that'll be difficult. See, that's not tempting fate because I'm being wryly sardonic. They understand. Bring some bandages, just in case. Yeah, I think this ought to be good.
In financial desperation, I struck a bargain with the ancient things that surfaced in search of sacrifice when the moon was right. Their price was the delivery of an obscure idol, and one other item of more troubling portent. The pact struck. My newfound accomplices slipped silently beneath the brackish water. A fearful stirring at the edge of the torchlight betrayed a familiar witness, and gifted me with malign inspiration.
Because that's what he needed more of, right? Malign inspiration.
I always wondered what became of the unfortunate little waif.
We do want to... Is she all set? She doesn't have blight darts on. I think we're more likely to want to shadow fade than we are to want to lunge. Rolling the dice, man. It didn't even... Nothing. Huh. There was no resist message or anything. I guess we got lucky. A little bit of free stress relief there. Should I keep messing with him? Oh, well, apparently I'm not even getting that option. What do you got, Fitz? Something awful. Okay, that's not great. This is far from the worst that this could have ended up.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
And that helps too. Yeah, I don't know if I've made this clear, but I am not afraid of these enemies. Salty Gouge can be a little annoying. Yeah, punch that snail. This says plated maggot. I don't think that that's accurate. That's not what this is.
Impressive.
Nicely done, a whole 4 damage. That came across a little bit more sarcastically than I meant it. Seriously, nicely done, a whole 4 damage.
As the beam
Wow.
falls, a faint
She's
hope blossoms.
she's doing okay so far this dungeon.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright, so I'm probably going to end up saying this in every single boss fight video. The boss is in the room that has the longest node path distance from your starting room. It's coral, it doesn't work at all. Don't touch it. So you always know where the boss is the moment you see the dungeon map. Yeah, let's focus on the back.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I considered attacking the middle one in an attempt to take us to a place where we have one fishman targeting the front ranks and one targeting the back ranks. I decided against it because these guys are a little tougher, and the Abomination in particular can just heal himself and things get ugly.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Sadly, he doesn't have a lot of options aside from stun. Less sadly, stun is always the right option.
This expedition at least promises success.
So we do have a little bit of a frontline damage problem. The Grave Robber can only hit the front line with her blight attack. No, don't just jam your hands in there. All right, well you got lucky. The Grave Robber doesn't have a great frontline attack. The Occultist also does not have his frontline attack equipped. And frankly, the Abomination's damage is pretty sad. Well, sad's maybe pushing it, but not great. Unless he transforms. We want to keep the transformation to a minimum, obviously, because you pay a hefty price in stress for that.
As the light gains purchase,
And we're doing so well on
spirits are
stress.
lifted, and purpose is made clear.
By the way, I found out the other day, while watching a friend play, that you can use dog biscuits on the clams, and you get a buff. I thought that was pretty weird. A pretty weird choice to have made. This feels bad. 3 to 5. I guess it has a good crit chance, but... There's not really a heal that does meaningful damage there. Or, meaningful damage. That does meaningful healing. We are only missing 6 HP, like, total as a party. So why not attack? Speaking of why not attack, yeah, attack. Here comes the Octocestus. Nobody suspected a thing. Start up the Blight Train. I cannot believe how good of a skill Chain Lash is. As you can tell, I still don't feel that the Occultist has anything of value to do defensively. Okay, that's like a real amount of damage. After all the bleed. Well, I do believe we are not going to get this guy down before he attacks again. Only, wow, he landed the stun again, though. Okay, now we've got him. 50% pot is very high. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this guy. Maybe we'll get one of those big, beautiful, marked enemy bounty hunter crits. This time, he has no meaningful damage to do, so we're going to throw some heals.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Just keep stacking them up. This guy is, I mean, dead man walking. Dead fish man walking. Okay, 13's a little better. 13's a little more in the range I was hoping for. Alright, that hurts. I'll admit it.
Masterfully executed.
Cool. Yeah. Seems like a fine time for a bandage.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to open stuff with people other than the A-Bomb. The A-Bomb has a very efficient self-heal. And and if he gets some kind of crazy debuff that causes all the monsters to attack him next combat. You know, that kind of thing should happen to your Abomination or your Vestal. Both of which are very adept at healing themselves. We should probably camp pretty soon. I want to make sure, absolutely sure, that that we get our buffs to the boss, though, which means that we can't camp too early, because if we camp too early, we might end up in 4 fights before we get to the boss, in which case we would lose the effect of our buffs. And remember, you have to account for either the possibility of a nighttime ambush or the cost of you performing a skill, a camp skill that removes the chance of a nighttime ambush. That's a little bit irrelevant, actually.
Precision and power.
Now who feels like a jerk? Spoiler, it's this guy with the balls on his face. I mean, I don't know what this is actually supposed to be, but it looks like a horribly pockmarked scrotum to me. I don't know, your mileage may vary. It's possible that your imagination is less gross than mine. Pretty bummed about Fitz losing his turn here. But on the other hand, check out this huge crit. I thought maybe if I introduced it with conviction, the universe would be like, oh well, that deserves a little bit of a win.
A singular strike.
Sadly, the universe turned out to be unavailable for comment. I'm going to guess it's in the bathroom, probably. Alright, that's got it. Except nobody's really that injured, and I don't want to risk healing them for a small amount and hitting them with the blade.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Aw. How bad. Fairly bad. Fairly bad. So 1, 2, for sure, 2 battles. I think if we camp at this point, we're likely to lose our buffs before we get to the boss. But also, I do want this to go away. Well, let's battle on. We'll camp at this rate. There's a much smaller chance of us getting enough fights in that much distance to wear off our camp buffs. Okay, that's not quite the damage I was looking for. Nor is that. Alright, finally, a good opportunity to vomit on some lady. Well, that's sad. At least he did not pay too harsh a price for his insolence, although this is going to be a little bit of extra injury on top of injury. You know, I probably should have stunned him. Just let somebody else take care of the fish. I was just concerned that it was going to get a turn. They have pretty high speed. Well, it might be time for old Mantel to go to the, 2 damage for 3 rounds. He doesn't need to go for the bandages just yet. Wow, we are really filling up here. Probably don't need that.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Which we totally have. So,
In Radiance,
you know,
may we
everything's
find
coming up us.
victory.
Alright. I think we're gonna camp here. After clearing these guys out, of course, we're not gonna share our campsite with them.
Devastating blow.
I don't know what fish dudes eat in the evening, but I bet it is super gross. We don't wanna see that around the campfire. Annoying. It's possible that healing the bounty hunter was the correct play there. I really honestly don't know. Yeah, throwing daggers. Flashing daggers, rather. Awesome. And by moving him to that row, we've really removed him from the fight for some time. First he has to get on stun, and then he has to spend a turn doing stumbling scratch, I think, in order to move himself back up. Whatever it's called, it's a very weak attack. That's all you really need to know about
Foolish
it.
horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
No reason not to use the bandage, right? I was just going to throw it away otherwise. That's a pretty good stack of deeds. Throwing caution to the wind here. Yeah, I'll keep the citrine. We get a scout. We did not get a scout.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horror.
May as well just put everybody in great shape, right? Alright, we're going super hard on the buffs here. Let's do this and then Dark Strength someone. Probably. Alright, so I do wish we'd gotten to use some skills before eating. That would have been nice. Unfortunately, just not the way the game works.
The light. The promise of safety.
Alright, so in case you need a little refresher on the Siren, she's pretty straightforward. I do think the Siren is one of the easiest bosses in the game, in large part to the fact that her unique gimmick doesn't really work very well. And when I say that, I don't mean that like it's broken from a game design perspective or something. I mean it literally does not do anything a large percentage of the time. Characters have such high innate debuff resist that that really why can't I think of the word? The Siren's skill that takes over your mind, which is debuff based, it's just not that threatening.
A decisive pummeling.
Okay, that's a little bit more like what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm gonna stun this guy because we still have Eldritch Artillery left. Taking a little bit of a chance there, it might not have killed. But because we pursue the path that we pursued, we are way ahead on damage and able to kill one more guy before he gets a turn. Sadly, still nothing useful that Marasa can do to people in the front of the party. Not when things are so close to resolve. Wow.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying
Let's drop
fall.
that. We're probably not going to need these anymore. I think we actually do need almost everything else. I'll take the beginnings of a stack of gold over a citrine any day of the week. Yep, I think we're going to have to let a bunch of stuff go here. Who wants a food? Nobody. Nobody wants a food. That's crazy. You know how it works. It's a bag. Alright. That's gotta get dealt with. He's gotta get that.
Ambushed by foul invention.
Yeah. Traps are a pretty significant source of stress. Okay, I don't like this at all. Ooh, I like it even less. Yeah, we should make sure that guy gets dead. I was really hoping to kill somebody in the front so that our frontliners wouldn't get manhandled quite so badly. Wow, that's fortuitous. Also fortuitous. I really hope that this turns out to be setting a tone for the boss fight, but I am, let's say I'm not hopeful. I know how I want it to go. I do not expect it to go anywhere near that way. Oof, 13. So, like I said, it's difficult to out-heal incoming damage, and it does eventually become impossible when monsters just start hitting too hard. Wow.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
What an incredibly diverse set of loot objects. Man. That's not quite the stress level you want to have going into a boss fight when you know that that guy's probably going to be transformed. Oh, and these guys are particularly annoying when you're in the situation we find ourselves in, where the light's a little bit lower than we would like, because that stress wave thing they do also does lower light. Most stress casts seem to.
Well struck.
There we go. That's the kind of stuff I was looking for. This will give us a little bit of time to land a weird reconstruction, hopefully. Also, we need absolution desperately on our abomination. So desperately that I'm going to intentionally not attack enemies. Let's get that stress level down. Everything we do has to be focused on getting his stress down. It's a good start. I didn't want to go crit fishing with weird reconstruction and end up having it
Success so clearly
backfire.
in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Man, that's worth a lot of gold. We're gonna drop that. Alright, man. I think he's just trying to pocket some of the loot. More sapphires, jeez.
Mechanical hazards.
It's
possessed
unfortunate.
by evil intent.
-5 speed. Alright, here we go.
The aquatic devils have remade the poor girl.
I will
in
say
their
this.
image.
She has a
She is
lot
their queen
of health.
and their slave.
So 60% blight resist. Well, it's not amazing. I think we'll focus on throwing daggers, looking for crits. time for that. Easily swayed by topless women. I always knew that was her weakness. So now the question is, do I stun my grave robber with the chain? I think I do. Let's just make sure she doesn't do anything crazy. Also, 9 damage is pretty good for that circumstance. Swinging the chain at people. Oh, man. This is an interesting conundrum. We don't really need the healing right now. We can't use Abyssal Artillery. That's our party member over there. You're already marked. I guess get debuffed. Do a little bit less damage. 37's pretty good, though. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just have this guy not participate for a little while, huh? Okay, good job. Good work. Yeah, go for it. Alright, 10's okay. Oh, I hope that doesn't work. Okay, good. Let's just make sure that guy doesn't go running amok. Refresh the mark. Sadly, the duration of the mark is measured in enemy turns. So, bosses run their marks out really fast. Very quickly. Should I finish this guy off? Nah. I would have had to use the poison darts. I'd much rather just keep throwing knives at the Alluring Siren. Here, Barasa can get him. She's at 75. Yeah, this is actually very likely to work. And of course, it only blanks one of her actions for the turn, but that's enough to make sure that my bounty hunter gets to attack her unmolested. Alright, we just gotta keep fighting around it. As you've seen, it's not that big a deal. If he transforms on us, it will be a little frustrating. To keep him in line somehow. Possibly an uppercut. 27!
Teetering on the brink.
Oh dear.
Facing the abyss.
Oh dear. And in a position where he can't heal. Okay, well, our best hope is to end this battle quickly. Dead. Jeez, man. This is really bad. Alright, we're gonna lay a stun on our guy here. Okay. Now I wish I had lunge equipped. Yeah. I thought about moving, but I think the thing I want to do is just try to end the battle. That's more important than anything else.
Hideous matriarch.
Alright, great.
We're not out of the aquatic depths.
We're not out of harm's way yet.
Place in the sane world.
You know, I agree with you, narrator, that horrible beast has no place in the sane world. But I don't think that she's, like, particularly worse than a lot of these other enemies we're facing here. Summon up some of that enthusiasm for that. Oh, I should have done. I did collect bounty instead of the skill that does bonus damage to stun people. Okay. Well, that looks like an unmitigated victory then. Sorry, not completely unmitigated. We do have to spend some money on this.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Slow and insidious indeed. Is there anything else I could drop for 3 busts? I don't think anything here is worth less than 3 busts. Okay, well, on the whole, pretty solid. And we finally managed to get this thing. Not to mention, you know, couple thousands of gold, a couple 10,000s of gold, bunch of crests. You always end up with a bunch of crests, especially in the cove. And how many of these guys? Okay, only one of them pushed up to level 5. Oh, that's annoying. That's also annoying. That's also annoying. I hope that that stacks additively with her trinket instead of multiplicatively.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Alright, we're starting to really acquire a roster here. Let's take care of these guys before I forget. I'd rather he pray than go to the bar. There's a lot of bad things that can happen at the bar. Sadly, this is going to put Barasa out of commission. Yeah, at 30 stress, I still probably would have brought him on stuff. So this sadly knocks him out of commission. Nothing great. Trinket wagon. So, join us next time on Darkest Dungeon when we, I don't know, probably kill a fulminating prophet. I would really like another legendary bracer. That sounds like a good play. Oh, except we don't quite have the party for that. Well, that's a shame. Well, join us next time when we do some kind of something. It'll probably be exciting, and I'll see you then.